Hey guys, this is part one of what's going to ultimately be a Vit Ritualist SSF run. Probably going to end up going double bone scythe, but like this is. I'll show you quickly. This is sort of roughly the model of what we might go for if obviously if drops cooperate. I don't know if I'm going to bother farming dark ones or not, so we'll probably level as shaman and be able to hunt Death's Vigil for their items. But yeah, like this is the kind of the idea is you have double bone scythe, you have the Death Watcher pendant, Cronley signet for the blood pact for the Wendigo totem is actually not bad, and then Reaper's leg guard. So we might go hostile Barrowhome for these purposes. Of course, I mean I don't know if we really want to fight Reaper on an SSF character, but we'll maybe see how that goes. We'll have Market Torment and such, so we might be fine. But yeah, Dark One set is at least target farmable. It's in a very dangerous area, so still, it's not bad. So there's a good chance we'll do that. Let's go rip off the name of my prior character. And maybe do Isabel instead of Isabella. Hey, Pirate Spider, welcome in. Um, check with a Rector or somebody like that, because I'm not sure. I seem to recall them being launcher dependent, so if you're not playing it through the launcher, maybe that's an issue, or maybe something else has come up, or the new patch created some compatibility problems. Which of the above, I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to speak out of turn. Alright, let's go. We're going to, like I said, level as a shaman. Give me 1 second. I know Hevel's Greatsword is somewhere, and I forget exactly where it is, but that might be decent to pick up starting just to have something. Okay, that's actually pretty easy. So Devil's Crossing Rift, and then it's just up a tiny bit and to the right. Cool.
You're not looking too bad. The body you will need.
Got the lore note. bit further ahead. It's like this house. Alright, so we'll throw this on. Rock of the Baka, welcome in. Alright, so we're going to hold off on Necro until we get to Homestead and can pick a faction, because if we pick Kaimon, that gives us access to some gear that's pretty useful. Okay, that gets us level 4. Let's do Mod Pact for now. We are probably going to start by leveling with Primal Strike. But I don't think it's really worth it as a one-pointer. Okay, what level are you spawning in? Level 5. Okay, that's actually not horrible. Let's try not to stay in combat for too long or get in any AoE. Alright, we got him. Nice and easy. well, while we're here, let's get the additional Aether Crystals. We might 1 point Devouring Swarm for nothing else as a possible devotion procer down the line, but all right, let's go back to town.
The dead a creature needs some time to.
Welcome to my
Oh yeah, Barnabas is going to require scrap.
Greetings, child.
All right, so let's go find some scrap. Just make our way up the map. Most likely dual wield bone scythe, spam bone harvest, ritualist. I might try to farm dark ones, even though that's kind of suicidal on an SSF character. But each of the Rift Clan adherents does have a 10% chance of dropping it, which does kind of make me think it could be worth it. But this could also end up being a situation where I'm farming forever and we never finish the build. So at least until we get dark ones, we'll probably use the hood that the Death Vigil guy drops in Fort Heron. Right, I want to kill these trash mobs so that we can just focus on the elite. Hold on, let me... Spam Primal Strike. So now we can actually... this is probably going to be energy hell, but we'll see. This already feels a little bit better. I guess we'll start pumping physique a bit. Alright, so DPS is 39 for Primal Strike. It's actually worse than our weapon attack right now, but... yeah. Even 2 points in Primal Strike, it's already better. I do want to push a bit up the Mastery bar, though. Still short on scrap. Got a Slith Necklace, at least that's something. Get 3 of these, we can get a ring with some resistances. Got another level. Point there. Okay, Julius is probably very lightning resistant. Maybe not. Ban the bot. Alright, so Milton should be here. Let's kill the ads. He's got Menhir's will, so we need to kill him before he just keeps healing himself. Fortunately, he does. Okay, I got the Foggy Bank Rift. Let's kill these mobs, and you lead over here for the quest. Never bother with this on normal except for an SSF run. Alright, there's a shrine here too. Let's see if we can get some Slith necklaces on our way in, though. That ring is actually pretty good for early resistances. Up here's 2. We need 1 more. G2, welcome in. Now, this is most likely going to be Spam Bone Harvest. And welcome in, Fishing Hat. Okay, 1 point here. So another point in Primal Strike. Maybe 1 more point in Primal Strike. Just slowly get this damage up. Okay, that gives us our 3 necklaces for the Slith ring, so let's go get that. Still only have 3 scrap. All right, let's find Luther. He's in down here, up this way, or across the map. Good day, welcome in, Violet. I mean, realistically, we're going to get beasts and nothing else. Okay, we have 4 scrap. Yeah, G2, this is another build where we have to wait until Act 3 to choose Necro. Fortunately, Shaman leveling with Primal Strike is going to feel a lot smoother because Primal Strike is just good enough of a skill that your gear almost doesn't matter in the early game. And yeah, like I think a lot has definitely changed in Grim Dawn since 1198 to the point where if you haven't played it since then, you've definitely missed a thing or two. But it's like for me, it's strange just because I'm used to even the builds I meme around with being able to do like SR32 or which is old SR80, and even the bad ones are doing 65. So Nemesis just doesn't seem like a big deal to me, which I realize I am a little bit biased, but All right. Enjoy hanging out with the wife. Have a good one, and thanks for dropping by. What's up, Master Halls? Welcome in. Oh, I almost got sundered there because I was paying attention to chat and not this fight. Aether Fire of Alacrity, sure. Yeah, like realistically, you're finishing the campaign before the Nemesis becomes becomes an issue. And if I had to choose between fighting Kuba and Kaimon or Kuba and Korvac as a beginner, I'd probably rather fight Kuba.
Oh, hello, traveler.
It's hard to say, but Kaimon and Korvac have ripped so many characters for people who aren't ready for them. Bleed Blade Arc Ward were nice. I think I did that in with a Guillotine. In the Blood Rager set. I'm sure Gut Smasher is very good as well. It might even be better.
Move along now.
It's probably an improvement. This is an improvement. Yeah, you're not ever going to run into Iron Maiden in the wild unless you farm the heck out of rep. Yeah, Alex I think is easier because Asunder telegraphs the meteor. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if any Nemesis actually got harder with Sunder. I'd have to think. Yeah, you know what? Maybe Benny and yeah, Benny and Iron Maiden. Zentarin is exactly the same. If you eat his Sunder, you're just dead anyway. Yeah, Benny, you can avoid him. You just get punished a bit more aggressively for misplaying. I do think yeah, Iron Maiden, maybe Benny. I guess Reaper having a Sunder, but he does less fizz damage, so it kind of balances out. Yeah, Grava's balls are the most deadly thing about him, not his thunder attack. And Valderin just seems scarier. Yeah, Reaper, there's only so many places you're going to get him. It's, again, pretty much you're farming the rep. We might actually go hostile with Barrowhome and farm Reaper for this build. So I think the Reaper pants are just so obviously best in slot, it's hard to not take them. Which, for, you know, Reaper, maybe a little sketchy on an SSF run, but... Hold on. Give me these shoulders. And let's get out of here. Take the Aether Crystal and go. Yeah, Purging a Balanced Steel, yeah, that's definitely an upgrade. Oh, we're level 12. Yeah, we definitely take the Oh, no, we don't take the Milton Helm. Wait, how much? Really? Well, hold on. Okay, just a couple points in the mastery bar. Fix that. That's good. I don't know how much we're really going to use Wendigo Totem early, but we'll get used to having it on the bar. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's for my enjoyment of the game, it's a dramatic improvement. That's somewhat subjective, but I think overall, I think it is a net positive for most people. Let's try not to get frozen or anything. This fight on an SSF run can be a little dicey sometimes. Devouring Swarm helps out a tiny bit. A lot of enemies with resistances hitting me with stuff I don't have high resistances to. I might be playing this more cautious than necessary, but one's almost down. Alright. Yeah, when it's just a one-on-one, this is fine. That's another level. We can get Ulgrim. We still only have 4 scrap, which is just insane. We might, the rate we're going, we might almost get to Krieg before we get 5 scrap. Ulgrim.
Well, I'll be.
Alright, we have 5 scrap, so we can actually do this stuff now. Let's throw some points in spirit. All right, so this definitely seems like a damage upgrade. Although maybe the armor piercing. Let's see. So primal strike right now, fizz lightning. It does go up. That's pierce lightning, so six. I mean, it is more damage, and it's not like we're doing any real RR right now. Master Halls, we're probably gonna do spam bone harvest. But we don't want to. We can't level as Necro until we get to Homestead, so Primal Strike is just a nice, relatively easy leveling skill.
What's with I? Good, you're one of my. You. That's good. There have been warden.
Fabric Quest. All right, already level 15. It's not too bad. We'll get the Krieg, the Rift Gate for first Rift Gate for Krieg. This is really anything's easier than the Sand Spitter build. Let's just call that what it was. It was pretty rough for SSF. This is not going to be as fast as the Blitz Warlord, but it's still going to be pretty reasonable, I think. So other than bleeding, I think Chaos is the one main damage type we haven't, counting this as a Vit, we haven't done Chaos for SSF yet. That will probably be a Deceiver just because you can use the Abadoth Sermons and hopefully end up pairing it with some other abilities. Like, yeah. Like, Doombolt mostly. Yeah, got another level. We got at least 1 point here. Kind of trying to balance having good damage and not being a complete energy hog. Alright, 30% Aether is. I mean, It's not bad for a fresh start. We're really desperate, we could do that, but... Definitely easier with the Forgotten Gods Halberd, though. If we're switching to Bone Harvest, I'm kind of wondering if it's even worth it for just getting through Cronley and early Act 3. Of course, the real tough one's going to be Vol'drak, actually. If we can get a gun and get range, that might be the way to do this.
Is it the Warden's defeat? So you must die before.
Sell a couple things. Okay, no bleed res, 28% pierce res. This will be interesting. Although we can do for the Eldritch Trials first.
So, you the three have go.
Alright, let's grab these lore notes.
The emissary war.
I could hear the
Rule number 1, just don't get hit. Yep.
you show Salile does not need you. The forgotten.
This is... Okay, these are... Okay, Pierce Elemental and Bleed. Yeah, these are just going on. This just seems better. Resistant of soul warding. Yeah, okay, you go on. Alright, this is a tiny bit less less dicey. At least their elemental res looks good. Let's actually, how much do we need? 6 scrap. Let me actually see if we can craft the silk swatch. Okay, resilient. Okay. 3 scavenged platings, and 3 scrap. Okay. We have 4 scavenged platings. And silk swatch is resilient plating, serrated spike, 3 aether crystals. Let's see. Do we have a serrated spike? Yes, we do. Okay. And let's actually see if we have any other components we can put on before we go into Forgotten Gods. I'm waiting on an unholy inscription for the gloves. Not a ton that's useful here for us right now. I mean, I guess we do the ancient armor plate. We got 3 of them. Why not? Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. Rule number 2, hit hard. Yeah, that's good rule number 2. Alright, 52% pierce res. That's a lot better than we had a moment ago. If we get a good two-handed gun, we're going to switch to using that, I think. Alright, drop the portal, we'll go get the next rift gate, and then come back for the shrine. You can actually get a movement skill from Forgotten Gods as well. We'll do that shortly. While it's still on my mind. Well, 18. Alright, how much cutting do we actually need to be able to equip this? Alright, we'll stick with what we have for now. Let's go to Forgotten Gods, get a movement augment. I guess if we do the Forgotten Gods movement augment, however, we won't be able to use a blitz type skill, so I don't know. It's a bit of a dilemma. Okay, so you've got oh, this is like a okay. Oh, so they have a Forgotten God. They have a Virus Might type thing. So you know, we actually are going to take advantage of this. This is Kind of nice, actually. Oh, right, we need dynamite. Forget that's a thing. We got 2 royal jelly, which is, we need a total of 3 for this. For Balthazar, apparently we do ZGPS too. Yeah, DPS still nothing to write home about, but we're kind of conserving points to not be total mana hog. It might actually be worth putting a bunch in Mog Pact, but let's see. This would see, 871. This is more flat fizz and energy regen. Let's double check that we have a frozen heart. We should at this point, but
What troubles you? Stay strong.
yeah, we've got 5 frozen hearts. We are, oh wait, that's an unholy inscription. Yeah, we'll take the leech. Get a bit more Vitrez and health from double corpse dust. It's probably the best option right now. I think, was it level 24 we can use if we had the Aether Crystals, we could use a corpse dust. Oh, talk to Mornay. Let's get this done. And we forgot to rescue Skinner. We'll do that.
Well, you work here. We have to hit them hard and fast.
Alright. I'm going to take a quick look at my actual build that we're modeling and trying to do an SSF version of for purposes of devotions. Let's see. Okay, so so we go A-bomb, of course. We go Ratosh. Scales is our flat RR. Okay, we'll go Lotus and Lion. We'll go for Scales early, I think. It looks like we actually use the Crossroads. I guess we'll have some points in physique at least. Our model build actually mostly physique dumped in a little bit of spirit. So, all right. So the bone scythe does not require cunning, so a little reluctant to put any points in cunning just to get here. We can just maybe we'll be able to to swing by Voldrak, just pushing the mastery bar. So I'd like to be at range. Alright, this is level 21, but it actually is a damage upgrade. So the only other issue with this is if we go hostile with Barrow Home, we do miss out on some augments. And theoretically, you could get Reaper Pants if you do enough SR runs. I'm not really sure I want to do SR runs for that, though. So that'll be a decision for later on. Of course, I mean, we could always do the classic get revered with Barrow Home, and then betray them on Ultimate, and just buy a bunch of augments. But we're probably not going to get that far today, so we can kind of decide that by next time. Yeah, that's a good call, Viley. It's not quite as good, but yeah, I think the Reaper pants are enough of a necessity on this build that it's probably worth just accepting that we're going to use the Outcast version versus you can play the rep game. It's a lot easier to do that when you're power leveling. If you're doing SSF, I'm not sure I want to spend the extra time doing it. If you're 100% min-maxing, it might be right. It might be the right thing to do, but our goal here is kind of to get a build that's reasonable, that can do things like fight Lokar. And I don't really think you need to min-max that hard to do that. Oh yeah, that's also true. You just get the pants with another character if you're power leveling because you're not doing SSF. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit less damage. It's not the end of the world. Hey, welcome in, Magifer. I mean, true, but you still get Revere with Black Legion pretty much by the end of Elite anyway. You do a bit of grinding to get the XP pots, and that kind of takes care of any leftover issues. And you're not really going to worry about the Outcast augments until you have the armor augments and stuff from Black Legion. And that is how you make a certified Cronley farmer. Alright, so we might be able to put some more points in Primal Strike now because We have an ectoplasm, which will help with our energy issues if we use too much mana. In any event, let's get the next Rift Gate and turn in some quests. Define unhealthy.
Well, is it finished? Well, damn, now that come, friend, right to business.
I don't know. For climbing, that might be a problem. Maybe not. We'll rescue Skinner and come back to Old Arcovia. Actually, no. We'll try to get some royal jelly on the way to the next Rift Gate first. Wait. I don't know. If you're having fun playing the game, I say do another run. Why not? Alright, so into the hive we go. Start another run or buy something cheap on the Steam sale and mess around with it. Medieval RPG. Interesting. Alright, so I need about... If I want to do range primal strike for a few minutes, I need another 20 or so cunning. Yeah, we could use components to get that. Alright, we'll get the next Rift Gate, then we'll strategize a switch to a ranged weapon for a moment. Alright, let's go back to town. Let's see. Hold on. Are we? I think we take Spider in this, so we might as well just grab the first note of Spider, if I'm remembering correctly. That'll give us 15 cunning, and that will take care of most of what we need here. Yeah, we do go Spider, so yeah, we also surprised it didn't go Bat early, but we'll get there. All right, 191. We need 197. It looks like. So this might be a case of just putting a polished emerald on something. Okay, no Mark of the Traveler yet. Oh. Put the polished emerald on the chest, and now we can equip a gun. Let's see, plus 27. Alright. We are high enough level that we can throw on quite a few things. I guess we could also use these gloves, but unyielding of blood. Yeah, I think we take that. Probably have another corpse dust. That fixes our pierce res. Alright, so we'll do range primal strike against Voldrak. We'll be swapping over to spam Bone Harvest soon. Assuming we get the item we need. Alright, let's try to make sure we deal with the escorts. We might be in trouble here. Oh, no, we just barely evaded that. We were kind of frozen for a second. Frenzied of Ruin, yep. That might have hurt a tiny bit if he'd connected.
Well, if it isn't, I came.
Alright, so we're going to kill most of the trash mobs in here because there's a chance of getting another bone scythe. Obviously the spiders don't drop them, but we're basically killing everything. So there is a bit of an RNG component to getting the bone scythes. Knock on wood, I think it's less painful than the sand spitters. But we'll see if that actually ends up being true. Alright, so we'll get the Homestead and Pine Barrens Rifts next. After we do that, we can work on getting another bone scythe. Where we fight Ungoliax, the spider boss in Pine Barrens area, there are mobs that can drop a bone scythe there, so I'm not going to reset the game instance just yet. If we get a bone scythe from there, we'll use that. And we will need to craft a dual wield relic, assuming we have the mats, which we might be a little low on. Oh, so minor issue, I guess. We don't have 3 dynamite to blow up this thing, so how many aether? Yeah, 25 aether. All right, we're gonna craft dynamite.
What brings you to my forge?
Aether shard.
Bring me back any blueprints that I...
Okay, we really should have checked back in with told the guy that we found his sister, because that would activate our homestead rep. We'd get rep for killing these mobs, but it's okay. We can go back and do it now that we have the Pine Barrens portal.
So how good were...
Alright, we've already got a Manticore Poison Gland. Yeah, there we go. So we just need to kill Megara, and we don't have to worry about getting a Poison Gland from the Manticores here. Yeah, still very questionable DPS right now. We're not using a great weapon. The thing is, Primal Strike is a good enough skill that even with a lousy weapon, we can kind of get away with it. Alright, so actually, we're not fighting Voldrak. That's the scariest enemy that we would have had. I'm going to say we use the Voldrak mace because it's just such a massive amount of extra damage. Alright, we see the totem, we click the totem. Alright, here's Bloodbriar. So we could get a bone scythe here. Let's see. Nope. Okay, let's see if we get any more mobs that can drop a bone scythe. We'll finish going through. So we are going to have to do some resetting, but hopefully not too many times. Hey, Captain Keen, welcome in. We're doing all right. We're getting started on the Ritualist. Still a shaman because we have to side with Kaimon. Alright, I guess we'll start on scales. We're kind of already there. Alright, let's get an anti-venom salve to just fix our poison res. Okay, Vitres is still sketchy. Let's see, is there anything we can realistically do about that? Alright, let's see. Impervious. This might just be better. And should be able to craft a rune stone. We'll what about the amulet? What are our options? This is Aether Elemental. Runestone will take care of that. It's a bit more Vitres. This is probably better. And we can get a Wardstone in the helm, unless we do we have a helm upgrade we want. Yeah, Bloodgrove is going to be sketchy as all heck. So let's go Wardstone. Actually, we have 16, so we can do... Is it 3 Wardstones for a Runestone? I think so. Alright, this goes on the helm. We'll just save that, and we'll take a... take a soul shard, I guess. Can we afford an imbued silver? So probably need some chaos res. Scavenge plating, polish emerald. Yeah, okay. 1 imbued silver. We'll put that here. It's like it's better than having no chaos res at all. Barely, but yeah, we gotta do something here. Let's push a bit more content here, and then we can try to see if we get the bone scythes.
I'll skip the Legion is split on.
I'm just gonna hold off on skill points unless I really feel we have to use them, because once we get Necro, we are going to be going pretty aggressively into Bone Harvest, and I want to have those points right away. We also need the mats to be able to craft the relic, which we're a little low on. We're gonna do dual wielding the bone scythe for spam bone harvest. We're using primal strike until one, we can switch to necro, and two, we have a couple of bone scythes and the ability to dual wield them. Of course, been looking for a 94 Tyrants of Alacrity, and we get a level 24 version. Alright, we got the 2 mini bosses. Let's get the shrine. I think we have to fight Gallus as well. This ring does have +3 to Mog Pact. Although, maybe we don't care about that. It's not bad, but we also don't have amazing rings, so I don't think you can drop a ring that's super low level. Another Bone Blade, another Bone Scythe. Okay, Bladed of Scorched Runes might not be terrible. It is level 35, so we can't equip it for a while. Okay. We might get lucky with the MI from okay, it's another Bone Spike. It does nothing for us. Bone Blade, which does nothing for us. Bone Wall, which does nothing for us. Welcome in, Tuma. Yeah, that's kind of my thought. Like, it's... Was it Pierce Fit, Elemental Res, +3 Mog Pact, Health? Yeah, it's a fine leveling ring. I can't complain. Like, this is still a bit on the slow side to get gear we want, but at least Primal Strike with a two-handed weapon is a decent filler skill while we're waiting for our MI. Yeah, maybe. I just don't want to play Savagery. And this has good AoE at least. Like, it's not amazing, but it's fine.
The one you call.
There was much. I see my scouts have.
Just the person. There are two other. I have come to represent Kaiman's Chosen.
Just wait till they find out I'm about to be a necromancer. Did I seriously only get 9 egg clusters? Wow. Alright, let's get one more. Alright, let's see. What do we need for the dual wield relic? I think we need 3 tainted brain matters. So we're not quite there. Oh, I only need 1. Okay. I can do this then. Wow, that's really easy. They all really just need 1? Okay. So Blade Sworn Talisman, that is melee dual wielding, gives me the ability to dual wield melee weapons. And we need 1 resilient plating, which we can't. Let's buy scrap. Someone, please sell scrap to me. Thank you. And how about you? Just have some spare. I suppose I can. I also could dynamite stuff if we were desperate. Undercover necromancer. Yep. All right. Resilient plating and blade sworn talisman. Okay. What kind of bonus did we get? Ooh, 3% DA. We'll take that. Alright, let's sell some junk. Maybe we can keep that. Our poison res is over, so do we do this? Gives a tiny bit more chaos res. Put the silk swatch back on. And what are these? This is aether res, stun res. Keep that on. This might be better. Yeah. Our aether res is pretty bad, but we have more chaos res, which I think for Blood Grove I care more about. Unless we get super unlucky with mobs. Let's see. Pierce is good. Okay, elemental is over, so we can lose the elemental. We can lose the bleed. This is way more armor, and it's aether res. I think we make that swap for now. Actually, wait, this is Tyrants of Alacrity. We'll put that in our stash later. Alright, well, we're at least going to make an effort to get a couple of bone scythes so that we can do spam bone harvest. We might not get there, but let's reset and do a run for bone scythes. Oh yeah, and we also can drop this cunning spirit node from Spider, since we don't need it since we're not using a gun. And we can actually get scales to start working.
Farewell.
So put this on Void Ward for now. That's fine. Some more points in physique. We might end up getting a bone scythe that is like level 32, so we can't use it right away. I think we just reset this area and do this as many times as we need to get the second bone scythe. Bone slicer, bone wall. Bone blade. Bone wall. Actually, this is not a bad leveling item. We're gonna pick that up. Don't care about fighting Icarus. Bone blade again. Bone scythe, perfect. This level 26. So let's see. You know, we might as well just finish the area. Maybe we'll get a better roll. But we at least have 2 now. Okay, good enough. go say hi to our people at Kaimon, and then we're going to equip our bone scythes and start bone harvesting. Seal of binding. Okay, yeah, so with our gear respecs, top row is all 80%, bleed is 73, vit 77, and Aether and Chaos are at least in the 50s, so this is actually a pretty decent amount of resistances.
May the light of him.
We'll gather the seals. Alright, now... Now we refund Primal Strike.
What troubles you? Farewell. Let me clear your mind.
Do we shaman?
Stay strong.
Yeah, we have to pull this back to 25, I think.
Farewell.
And we'll start putting points in the Devouring Swarm as well. Frenzied of Ruin for a low-level Voldrak is the sort of thing I want in my stash, so we're going to make another Imbued Silver and just put the Voldrak Crusher away. silver. And you know, I think the smart thing is probably to do assault as well. Just be responsible. There are resistances. May not be fun, but it's the right thing to do. All right. Let's at least... So at least get the Bloodgrove Rift. Maybe we'll kill Ravok once to see about getting his helm. And if we get lucky and get a one of the amulets that the Vigil mobs drop, that'll be really nice too. Bone Harvest gives us range, which is nice. Alright, so let's pump Soul Harvest. We'll get the Rift, and then we'll kill Ravok, and then I think we'll call it after that. This is, by necessity, going to probably be a 5-stream series. So I'll be out of contact for a bit over a week, starting a week from this coming Friday. So we'll get Tuesday, today, obviously Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then it's got to be done. So if it's going slow, we might have some slightly longer streams during the week next week. And also, oh, Decaying of the Void. I mean, that is horrible, really. So yeah, no resistances. Of course, we don't need the Pierce Res, And we can probably survive without the Vit Res. So yeah, 120 Vit to Mog Pact is... and total speed. But hopefully we get a better one. We also could... I don't think we have enough iron to that I want to be buying one, but we could, if we get really desperate, check the Blood Grove vendor. We got a dynamite. Oh yeah, we need to start putting Ill Omen and Market Torment on. They're low enough level now that it's not going to make a difference in any fight, but... Impenetrable of Corrosion. You know, of Alacrity is worthless. Aggressive is not bad. Impenetrable... Alright, so this is Pierce Bleed, reduced stun duration. Corrosion is hot garbage. It's also level 35, so we'll probably farm a couple more of these. But we will do that next time. So let me get you guys a Grim Tools for where we are now. Let's take a quick look to see who might be on. Yeah, so far this is just Shaman and Primal Strike. Just makes it so much easier the early stages before you get the MIs, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, Rect is playing Titan Quest 2. Let's go raid Rect. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll be back on Thursday evening, same time as we started today, and then Saturday morning at around 8 o'clock, and then next Tuesday and Thursday evenings we'll finish the character next week, and then I'm going to be on a cruise and not streaming for about a bit over a week. Alright, let's find Rect. Raid is underway. Have a good one, and I will see you guys next time.
Defense maxed out, right?